This video will teach you about creating sketches that will be used to create 3D models. First, we're going to open a new part, select Model, check the units are in millimeters, and name the part, and check the save location. Once you're happy, click OK. Now, to start a new sketch, click Sketch on the left of the ribbon. The Create Sketch dialog allows you to determine the plane upon which you wish to sketch. Just think of this as the flat piece of paper on which you'll draw the part, before later turning it into a 3D model. By changing the plane method to new plane, you can create a sketch anywhere in the coordinate system by specifying distances and vectors from existing planes or points. However, for now we're going to select Inferred Plane, and select the XY plane of the datum coordinate system. Once you press OK, NX automatically aligns your view to the plane and axes that you have selected. Note that there are multiple options for how to sketch, which becomes important in more complex creations, depending on how or to what you wish the sketch to be constrained. The primary option is the Profile tool. When you select the Profile tool and move your cursor across the screen, the input box next to the cursor describes the coordinate point you are currently on. When you left-click the mouse, that point is selected and the input dialog has now changed to show a length and an angle. If you know the length you wish your line to be, type it and press enter. See that this has locked the line to be that length, but I can still pivot the line about the initial point. I can either enter the angle and press enter, or just select a point in the coordinate system like this, and the line will angle towards it. Now, the Profile tool wants me to make a second line, starting from the endpoint of that first one, and it will continue to do this with each line until I stop it. Using Profile, I can make a series of interconnected straight lines and arcs. If I select the Arc tool, you'll see it lets me create an arc to any point, but the arc is always tangential to the previous line. If I now enter a radius of 20 for the arc, you can see that it becomes locked, and I can only control the sweep angle. If I set the sweep angle, you'll see I'm then left with only two options, where the arc can curve to the left or to the right. Now when I click to place the arc, the Profile tool automatically reverts to the straight line. Selecting the initial start point, I've now finished the profile that I wanted to draw, but I can still add lines. So to exit the Profile tool, either click the mouse scroll wheel or hit escape. If I want to draw individual lines rather than a whole profile, then simply use the Line tool. I'll draw a couple here. To create smaller lines or select points in a busy area of the sketch, you can zoom in and out by using the scroll wheel on your mouse. The next important thing to learn is the snapping features of NX and the selection intent. Snapping is where the software notices that the line you're drawing is close to being horizontal or vertical or meeting another line or whatever, and it automatically snaps to that point. As you see here, when I go to draw a line, I can draw it at 3 degrees, but any less than that and it instantly snaps to horizontal, as indicated by the small arrow next to the cursor. If you want to, you can change this snap angle by going into the menu, selecting Preferences, then Sketch, then on Session Settings it has the snap angle. The preset on NX is 3 degrees, and whenever you start a new session it will revert to 3 degrees. But if you change the settings and then save this model, reopening the model later will bring back the changes you made. Selection intent is an important part of modelling, and there are a range of tools to help ensure you are selecting and editing the features that you intend to. Selection tools are all located in the small ribbon above the model window. These can be turned on or off to help you sketch as intended. For example, I often find myself turning off the Point on a Curve snap tool, as most of the time my lines need to connect to more defining points, such as endpoints, midpoints, or intersections. In NX, as in all CAD software, there are a number of preset shapes that you can use to speed up your sketching, each with multiple possible input methods. For a rectangle, the options are 2 points, or 3 points, and from center. For circles, there is a center and diameter option, and a 3 points option. Similarly, arcs have a 3 points, and a center and endpoints option. There are a number of other useful tools in the Direct Sketch box. including quick trim to cut a line back to an intersection, quick extend to extend a line to meet another, chamfer and fillet to remove corners, and contour to add an identical line either greater or smaller than that selected. For example, if I contour this circle, you'll see a direction arrow appears and a distance option. I can set a distance of how far out I want the contour to be, and then depending on whether I want it to be inside or outside the circle, I can double click this arrow and it will reverse the direction. This is how I went about the sketch, but as you'll soon realise, with computer-aided design and engineering, there's often numerous ways to go about creating your designs. In the next video, we'll see how we can edit our sketches using constraints and dimensions.